All right, Kel'Thuzad, quick banger KT. What a good fight / potentially bad fight. Basically, the fight repeats itself multiple times. All right, so this fight gets harder as you go. Multiple mechanics. Let's talk at them one at a time. CDs on the boss on the pull. They did lust on pull. I'd probably do that later. So it's going to spawn tank ads. So it's going to do a thing. It's going to spawn some tank ads. They need to be kicked. You can interrupt them multiple ways. You can interrupt them with any normal kick. You can also just kill the shit out of them. You can also silence them with these puddles. But these puddles are also going to spawn ads you have to kill. They like explode after the silence is gone, and they're going to spawn little ads. They're going to try to chase around and kill people. The next phase, or the next mechanic, should be spikes. Okay, they place 2 spikes. On Heroic, there's very little. My only advice with spikes is that there's nothing in this fight that you need major cooldowns for. Spirit Link, Barrier, Rally, Darkness, honestly, healer cooldowns, except for Glacial Spike. I feel like a lot of people on Heroic will trick themselves into always doing 1 and 1, or 1 and 1 and 1. Look, until there's like 3 or 4, just stack up and just fucking blow them up. Like these 2 people right here. Don't spawn them that far apart. Put them right on top of each other. Put a barrier down. Instantly blow them up. It'll clean up the room. The biggest problem with this on Heroic is a lot of guilds are going to spend too much time micromanaging the spike health, trying to only kill one at a time. And what they're going to do most of the time is chain the debuff anyway. And okay, this they did too. That was good. But you want to have, like, you'd rather use more cooldowns and stack them up than do them separately. I promise you, it's going to create so much confusion when there's other stuff going on. Right now, it's pretty easy. That's how it works. So anytime he casts his main abilities, he loses mana, and he needs a certain amount of mana to cast them. He'll also evocate, which will also spawn a MC'd version of your dead character if you have any dead players, and also all of the ads that have already died in the fight so far. But that doesn't seem like it's going to happen. They get tank ads here near the end. It looks like they probably stop DPS on boss just to kill them. That's what they do. Okay, and then the boss is going to die. When the boss dies, a Phylactery comes out, and ads are going to spawn upstairs. You need to split your raid, and you need to have some people go down. You can figure out the group. Honestly, for progression on this, I would have 1 or 2 players save cooldowns for it. Not really sure who exactly. I mean, I have a lot of ideas on that, but just, just send some people down that you think would be good for. There's a little bit of movement. Keep that involved, or keep that in mind. And you want to send people down to the Phylactery. It looks like, oh, they're sending fucking everybody. Okay, they sent the damn team down there. They sent their whole raid down there except for 1 tank. Honestly, I fuck with that. Yeah, they sent the squadron. So they're just going to fucking own this thing. At 66%, it phases, and you just have to like dodge these things. Holy shit. Yeah, so they do this. They instantly blast this thing. They go back up already. So it goes to 66%, and then you're done. Then you phase back up. Unfortunately, they reset the boss because the 1 person they left up died. So do you want to do that? Definitely not. So next time, they probably send less people. Okay, so Kel'Thuzad at 2%. They do the exact same thing. They're finishing the Devoted. They're going to the Phylactery. All right, now they split the group again. So here it is. So there's Demolishers and Soul Reavers. These 2 ads, very simple, barely move. They hit really hard. They're similar to like the mobs at the end of Plaguefall, where like you don't really want to tank them. You just want to have aggro on them. They just like slam you. Same thing with these. With tanks, you want to aggro on them, but them not to touch you. You also want to kick all their casts, and you want to just tank the A-bombs together. And you have a group basically cleaving up here while you have a group down there killing the Phylactery. You can see on the boss frames, even upstairs, the Phylactery's health. Again, it needs to get to 66% in 40 seconds, or else the entire raid dies. And that's basically it. So it looks like they do that. They're actually cutting it kind of close. Okay, they did it though. And then as soon as the boss comes up, he's going to empower any ad that's currently alive. I think that was bugged during this testing, or it wasn't added yet. And then you have to finish them off. Then you continue again. Very important. The boss has 40% mana. The boss reses with the same mana that he died with. So every phase will likely be different to you unless you're always pushing at the exact same mana numbers. Because at a certain level of mana, he's going to do this like glacial fragment shit in the room you have to spread out with. He spawns spikes at certain mana. It costs mana to do all of his abilities. So yes, if you guys are thinking Stone Legion, very Stone Legion-esque, where you will have to learn multiple different types of these upstairs phases based on what energy he spawns in with. Again, it's not necessarily a bad thing, because you can tune it and you can design it to where it's fine. Keep in mind, this is like one variable, where the reason why I mentioned Stone Legion is that Stone Legion had like this, but like times 7. So don't get it in your mind that this immediately means bad. It's actually fine, especially on Heroic. On Mythic, a few things changed, but that that in Heroic. You shouldn't be scared of that. You just kind of be aware of where he's at. There will be boss mods and weak ores for this. He's going to evocate. So right now he's going to spawn every ad that's died so far in this fight right under him. As well as also if there's any dead people, he'll spawn a like MC'd version of that person, and it'll attack the group. Again, tank mechanic comes out again, but now that he's ooming himself, you guys are going to see the next thing. He's also doing Glacial Wrath, so they're spawning spikes. But since you've killed Kel'Thuzad once, last time you had 2 spikes, this time you have 3. Let's see what they decide to do with these. Oh, they spread them out. Okay, so you can Queen's Court this. Okay, so look where the boss is going. See how the boss is on top of one? If they're smart right now, they'll single target this one down next to the boss. That's what they should do. Just single target this one. Looks like they're not hitting any of them. See, that's a problem because just like Queen's Court, these Glacial Spikes tick themselves down over time. When you have random raid AoE like Ashen Hollow and Starfall, you're going to be damaging them more than you think. And a lot of groups are going to wipe trying to do this spread out strat because they're going to accidentally kill one, especially in a pug. This is why I'm saying you want to form your cooldowns around killing them at the same time on Heroic up to 3, because you will most likely chain your 2-stack into a 3-stack anyway in a pug. And if you don't, you don't actually really save that much because you're going to be using your cooldowns on the 2 and then no cooldowns on the 1, and then the 1 is going to be more dangerous than what the 3 would have been with cooldowns. They're going to have a really weird setup right here. Looks like they're trying to kill all 3, but they weren't prepared for it, so they instantly died. But if they would have stacked those spikes and barriered, they would have lived easily, right? So they just weren't really prepared for it. Again, it was like the second pull. I'm obviously not flaming them. So they do this again. They get the Frostbound Devoted to spawn. Very important, these Frostbound Devoted can be grouped up. The boss naturally does it. You do want to stun them once their cast fully finishes. So you guys see these, you'll see them fixated on you, this corpse detonation. They're going to fixate as soon as this cast finishes, and they're going to chase after people. And you'll get a notification. I think it's a debuff showing you that they're fixating you. Stunning them, disorienting them, knocking them back. Actually, knocking back doesn't work and grip doesn't work. But that will all cancel that, and they'll have to rechannel it. Let's see if they do that. Looks like they're just dying, so you can't see it. But you can just slow them and knock them back. Yeah, all that stuff. They're like fully CCable. On ones where they spawn from silence pools, you can have like Blood Decays mass grip them and stuff like that just to make it easier. This fight is way less about like overall damage than it is control. This is a control fight times a million. It's not about overall damage. You just need to be on top of everything. So, yeah. This Howling Blizzard is the one thing you guys haven't seen yet, where you're going to stack up and soak that. Looks like that guy's turtling it. That's fine. It is immutable. And then they're going to push the boss again. Now, interestingly, they push the boss with him going to 0. So when he's at 20% mana, he spends his last bit of mana to go to full. Here it is. So he Frost Blasts, right? But whenever he goes to 0 mana, he Howling Blizzards. So they're going to actually now, the next time that Kel'Thuzad reses, they're going to do the first part of the fight again. So what they did the very first time they pulled him, the phase should be exactly the same. Whereas the one they just did was completely different. Okay, so that guy's going off to the side. He's immuning it. Very cool, very V-cool. They have a couple of Devoteds out. They'll probably clean those up. They're going to push the boss here with everyone alive. Hopefully, nope, that guy died. And then here. Also, these safe spots are totally random. I haven't found a pattern. I don't think there's a spot that always works or could. This will become more important in the last phase. They're going to send their group down to do the Phylactery again. Again, for you guys doing this, I would recommend just, if you send people down, use whatever cooldowns are up. Consider this fight like a Mythic Plus fight. Like, anytime your cooldowns are up, except for this, I don't know if you need to CD these ads, but like, if you're downstairs in the Phylactery or if Kel'Thuzad's alive, just fucking shit on the whatever's up. Okay, so Soul Reavers are getting finished off. Okay, so they have how many? Okay, so this is almost certainly when they wipe, because they spawn 4 Glacial Spikes now, right? Because the boss. Oh wait, I think they got the bug. I think they only got 2. So this fight was bugged on Heroic and it wasn't spawning the correct amount of. Oh no, they got 3. They should have gotten. No, they do get 4. They do get 4. They did not get the bug. So if I'm a betting man, I think they die insane because the ones they're focusing are at 20%, but the rest of them are all around 50% from Starfall. So they're putting a barrier down, but before any damage happens. They have the right idea, they just barriered way too early. And then also, okay. They're alive. Oh, do not soak that. Do not soak that. No. Yeah, you should have sacked that person. And then, so the boss just did its evocation, right? The evocation will also res all dead people. So you guys see these dead people? They're going to come back to life right now, and you have to deal with them if you ever have dead people. And they do like full mechanics and everything. They do everything. Yeah, so common theme, this boss is going to shit all over pugs. In the last phase, here's what happens, okay? Okay, let's just say you kill the remnant, you finish up all the little babby ads, and then you're fighting smiley face Kel'Thuzad, okay? Let's say he's right here, okay? There's going to be like 4 circles in the room that spawn. And from what we could tell, they're completely random, okay? What they do is they slowly grow over the course of the phase. Just all of them together, just slowly growing, and eventually they grow so much to where you're in the last little bit of room. It doesn't do spikes in this phase, it just does the silence puddles and the raid soak. And on Mythic, I don't know if they added it on Heroic, but on Mythic of this fight, in the last phase, it also adds the Phylactery dot. I don't know if it does that on Heroic. Yeah, there's gonna be like a dot in the last phase that just ramps. Think of Jaina, like last phase of Jaina. You know how like that fight was like, you just needed crazy healer cooldowns at the end to like live the damage? That could be this. Maybe not on Heroic though. But like you find you basically be like, the safe spot changes every time. So you find a spot in the room that's safe and you just live there and then it's gonna keep growing and then eventually you run out of room. And you basically just have to kill him before the room is covered in ice. That's what the last phase is, okay? So that's the only thing you didn't see from that video, but everything else is the same. So, comp. Healers are primo. Good chance adding healers will help you unless you are consistently getting 2 spike sets per phase. If you have too many healers to where you're getting more sets of spikes because you can't push fast enough, that's a big problem. But adding healers up until that point will only make this fight easier for you, unless you can't make the burn at the end. Okay? So that's basically the only thing with the comp. Also, potentially adding a grip tank to make devoted management easier. That's the only thing comp-wise. Other than that, obviously, bring your best players. All right, things to look out for. Everything. Things to look out for. Specifically on Heroic, I would stack all spikes on top of each other until you get 4, then do 3x1. And just, have a weak aura or something to tell the one person to get out or something. And then assign all big raid CDs to this. Now, can you do 1-1-1-1-1? Well, actually, no. I think you can only do 1-1-1. You can, but it would require like insane control. Like you would have no outside damage, which just isn't going to happen. I'm telling you, the most common wipe on this fight is going to be Glacial Spikes, and it's going to be trying to do them at low stacks and then accidentally increasing, like chaining a 2 into a 3 stack on accident. I promise you that will wipe you. So just always do a big group, assign all of your cooldowns for it. They should be up every time on Heroic, and just fucking everything. I'm talking personals. Like when the fuck do you need a personal in this fight? When? The only time anyone needs any defensive is when these Glacial Spikes are expiring. So when they're doing that, do all of them at once, except for one, once you get 4 of them, which you should only get 1 set of 4 spikes, and just fucking pop everything to live and stack up and call it out ahead of time. Stack the spikes so it's easy to kill them at the same time, and use all of your cooldowns. I promise you'll have a better time. That's the main thing. That. Number 2, send down a healthy amount of people to the Phylactery. The upstairs phase is way easier. That's it. Yeah. Fuck yeah. Number 3, silence puddles. What a lot of people use them for, it's these puddles right here. So these puddles will silence other players, so obviously take them away from the group, but what a lot of people do is they put them on the tank ads because it'll silence the tank ads until they're gone. I won't know in Heroic if that is going to be better because of the tank ads only being 3 of them and then having really low health. I don't know if that's going to be better than just simply spawning the remnants or spawning the like ads all in one spot. I don't know what's going to be a bigger problem, kicking and killing tank ads for a random pug or killing the Frostbound Devoteds. If the Frostbound Devoteds are really spread out, I feel like they could create a lot of problems. I don't know which one to tell you. All I would say is if you're struggling with tank ad kicks, make sure you're always silencing the tank ads. And if you're silencing, or if people are constantly dying to Devoteds coming into the middle of the raid, then maybe stack them up so the devoteds are more grouped, so it's easier to like get them together and kill them. I don't want to type all that out. I just said it. God bless. You might need to lust last phase burn. But for progression, I would constantly move your lust to learn and see farther once you have any deaths. Once you consistently make it to the last phase, lust there. The last phase is actually like weirdly kind of easy. So that's it. So that's this fight. All right.